let's bring in our powerhouse panel with Republican strategist and attorney Amanda Mackey, political analyst Mark Halperin, constitutional and civil rights attorney and Newsmax contributor Amir Benno, and National Advisory Board member at Project 21, Christopher Arps. Thank you so much for joining us again. Amanda, a judge rules to unseal dozens of documents about Ghislaine Maxwell's personal affairs, including Epstein and the Clintons. What do you make of this?
Well, I guess I'm not completely surprised by this. There's been a lot of controversy over this whole issue, but I guess I could say I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Amir, what does this mean from a legal standpoint? Because I know the headlines overnight were, since Bill Cosby was released, that perhaps she should not face charges or go to trial because of the deal that, Epstein had made with the prosecutors. What do you think this means for her?
I think, her defense attorneys are making the right argument. Bill Cosby, he was promised by a prosecutor that they wouldn't prosecute him. In exchange for that, he was going to cooperate on his civil case, and he did. Same thing happened with Jeffrey Epstein when he was prosecuted in Florida back about 15 years ago. He took a plea deal. Part of that plea deal was an agreement that they would not, the federal prosecutors would not go after any co-conspirators, whether they were named or unnamed, Ghislaine Maxwell being one of them. And so they're making the same argument that was successful in Cosby, and because it was successful in Cosby, they want to make it in her case as well. We'll have to see whether the courts buy it this time.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be watching. All right, I want to pivot to Meghan McCain. Now, she made an announcement about her future on The View. Take a listen.
I am here to tell all of you, my wonderful co-hosts and the viewers at home, that this is going to be my last season here at The View. I will be here through the end of July to finish out the season with all of you, which I am grateful for. This was not an easy decision. It took a lot of thought and counsel and prayer and talking to my family and my close friends. I'm just eternally grateful to have had this opportunity here. So seriously, thank you from the absolute bottom of my heart. And I will still be here another month. So if you guys want to fight a little bit more, we have 4 more weeks.
I'm sure they will fight a little bit more. Mark, was this the right time for her to leave the show?
She's under so much pressure there, just constantly fighting with her co-hosts and creating controversy. And I think the big choice for the producers now is presumably they'll replace her with a conservative. Will it be a conservative who's hostile or pro to Donald Trump? I think that's an interesting choice they face now.
Yeah, there's been a lot of women in that seat. Chris, she as we were talking about, she gets in heated arguments with a co-host because of her conservative viewpoints. She said she wanted to spend more time with her husband and children. Do you really think, though, the relationship with her co-host played a role in her decision making? I can't imagine having to argue all day.
I think it definitely did. It's fun television, arguing with people that have opposite political views as yours. But sometimes some of her co-hosts get pretty personal with it, and we've seen that play out, and she's probably tired of that. Hey, I'm going to make a prediction and predict that the next member will be Liz Cheney.
Ah, that's a good pick. Amanda, what do you think? First, Amanda, do you think it would be Liz Cheney? Who do you think will be sitting on that couch?
I don't think it's going to be Liz Cheney. I think I can say that with...
She's been too busy on the commission.
Right. I don't know who it will be, but to your point, do you really want to sit there and bicker with people all day long? As if you don't have enough, problems of your own, things that you have to worry about in your personal life. You don't want to fight with people in your professional daily life every day. That seems like a lot to take on. But I do believe that they will have someone who is a pro-Trump Republican, someone who's a little bit more vocal about Trump than certainly she was. She obviously was not a fan of President Trump. But I think they will have a pro-Trump person on there. And I think that will spark a lot of controversy on the show, which always helps for ratings.
Yeah, she did stand firm, right? For 4 years, her views. But it just didn't sit well with the other hosts. They really did attack her, and as well as social media.
They did. They went after her. They were kind of nasty to her on social media, certainly. But, you take this when you go out into the social media world and you subject yourself to what people are going to say, especially these pro-Trump supporters are going to go after her, and they did. They sure did. But she stood her ground, a lot like Liz Cheney. She stood her ground on her beliefs. And you know, that was fine for the moment. But I really do believe they're going to want to have someone who's pro-Trump on there really to espouse those views. Again, I think it just helps with ratings.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
And my prediction was based on Liz Cheney losing re-election next year.
Yeah, there you go.
They need someone next month, though.
All right. Well, speaking of elections, I want to go to California now, as voters will decide whether to recall Governor Gavin Newsom and replace him with another candidate in an election on September 14th. Mark, California, it's a blue state. Do you see the governor being recalled in the state's second recall election in history? I mean, or he just going to stay put?
I don't, Allison. The only reason a previous Democratic governor was recalled was because a strong Democrat offered that alternative on that second complicated ballot question. Gavin Newsom's team has done a very good job of keeping serious Democrats out of the race, and that means he'll almost certainly survive this.
Yeah, it's just surprising too, Mark, because you look at California, so many people have left the state. Businesses have left the state. You know, they've wanted Newsom out for who knows how long, but it's probably not going to change, right?
Now, his approval numbers have come back up, but again, look at what happened last time when Gray Davis was recalled. You had a strong Democrat running in the race, and you had Arnold Schwarzenegger, a strong Republican.
Yeah.
Right now, there's no strong Democrat, and the Republican field's got some interesting people in it, but no one who's really established the kind of dominance that Governor Schwarzenegger did.
Yeah, absolutely. Mayor, this is the 6th attempt to recall the governor. Is this time any different?
Well, this time is different because it follows from people being dissatisfied as a result of the COVID restrictions and the lockdowns. Now that those have lifted, people's memories, unfortunately, are short. His approval numbers, just like Mark says, have come back up. I think they're trying to push for an accelerated timetable to get this recall done before school really gets underway again, before there's any natural disasters, God forbid, like fires. And people get angry with him again. As long as his approval numbers are good, he's probably sitting pretty and he's going to win.
Yeah, doesn't seem like anything will change. All right. Well, thank you to our panel. We'll see you in the next hour. Amanda?